Well, first of all, I've always admired, the program of Northwestern, and those guys are always each year they're always in the top echelon defensively, and this year being no different. I mean, these guys are very well coached. They're sound. They're gap sound. They don't do a whole lot defensively, but what they do is they do it very well. And the guys tackle extremely well in space. They're very aggressive, physical. And so those are the things that really stand out to me as I watch and game plan for these guys. But we definitely have our work cut out for us.
Coach, we'll have a couple questions queued up for you. We'll start with Tom Green from AL.com. Tom, you can go ahead when you're ready.
Hey, Chad. Obviously, you and Gus go way back. I know he reached out to you when things ended at Arkansas last year. Just what were your conversations like with him when the news came down after the Mississippi State game, and what was your reaction?
Well, I think, my reaction was much like everybody in the building, when it all happened. It's just it's a tough time. You kind of go through different phases when it does happen. And I was just there just to tell him how much I appreciate him. This is he and my relationship go way back. And so I was just there just to help lend an ear and lend a hand. But I'm very, very indebted to Coach Malzahn and what he's done, and want to wish him the best moving forward.
Coach, thank you. We'll have our next question come from Mark Murphy of Inside the Auburn Tigers. Mark, you can go ahead.
Coach, when you guys last played, Brendan Coffey was one of your new starters on offensive line. How did he do? And is Broham going to be able to go? And I know it's been a strange year for your offensive line. As a general, can you talk about that?
Yeah, well, we're still, trying to get everybody healthy up there and in the front. That's kind of been the position that's gotten the injury bug bit. But I thought Brandon Coffey did a good job being his first time to get extensive playing in, and been able to get some good work throughout bowl practice. And so I'm excited for him and moving forward. And I think he's a young man that's got a bright future, and he'll continue to get better.
Coach, our next question will come from AP Stedham. AP, you can go ahead and unmute when you're ready.
Good morning, Coach. Coach, I was wondering if the mindset of the team would be more relaxed, and will you be calling all the plays, and do you have very many individuals missing from your offense in this game?
Outside of the individuals that Coach Steele has already talked about, we should be able to get some guys back. We're hopefully to try to, to heal some of the nagging injuries. As far as playing relaxed, I mean, we've got these guys are professional with how we've approached this thing, with the coaching change. And these guys have come to work. They've done a tremendous job. Getting themselves ready and allowing us to get them ready for this game. We know we've got a great opponent, and as I mentioned earlier, we've got a big task ahead of us going against their top defense. And so, I anticipate our guys playing as if they played all year long, and that's playing with an edge about themselves.
We've got a few more questions lined up for you. Next will be from Jason Caldwell of Inside the Auburn Tigers. Jason, you can go ahead.
Chad, how tough has it been in a condensed bowl week and not knowing who's going to be out there from practice to practice and having to shuffle guys around? How tough has that made it to kind of get prepared for the game?
Well, it's kind of been the norm, to be honest with you. This is kind of what we've had to deal with all year long. I mean, you don't know from one day to the next or one game to the next and who's going to be out there, and with all the uncertainties that we've had to deal with. So, it's really just kind of been business as usual. Our guys have come to work, they've gotten after it, and we've got a plan, but it's kind of been right along suit with what 2020's been.
Coach, we'll take our next question from Jordan Hill of the Opelika Auburn News. Jordan, go ahead when you're ready.
And you kind of talked about, the whirlwind of the last month, but I want to ask for Bo specifically, how have you seen him sort of handle everything, especially now in preparing for the bowl game?
Well, I think Bo's done a really good job, of getting himself ready. I know he was excited to get back in here after Christmas and to finish this thing out just like we started. And that's a big task that we have ahead of us. But to end this thing with a bowl win would be a great accomplishment for this team and for this team moving forward.
Coach, our next question will come from Bryan Matthews of AuburnSports.com. Brian, you can go ahead.
Yes, Coach, thank you for speaking to us. Wanted to ask you about your receiver position without Anthony Schwartz. How is that sort of setting up now? What's going to be different, and how do you think you guys will perform?
Well, we know Eli will definitely step in that role. He's gotten ample playing time. He's going to have to get a little bit more. We try to limit the number of reps that our receivers take, just from the course throughout the game. But I anticipate seeing some young guys getting on the field and playing. But Eli is he'll take the majority of the reps.
Coach, up next we'll have Mark Murphy, followed by Paul Kennedy. Mark, you can go ahead when you're ready.
Yeah, can you talk about what's made Northwestern defense so effective this year? And also DJ Williams having some time off. Is he getting back closer to his normal self?
Well, DJ has. He was one of the guys I was referring to as getting back healthy. So it's good to see him back. He's gone through all of practice and looks much better and looks a little bit fresh, to be honest with you, with his legs. And so I'm excited about having him back. As far as just the Northwestern defense, what makes them so sound is, again, they don't do a lot. But what they do is they're very sound in it. They're very gap sound. They've been playing this type of defense for quite some time, and so they're really good at it. Their guys understand the adjustments that have to be made from it, and to be able to watch those guys and how they communicate it is very impressive. They will give some exotic looks on third down, and so, but again, I think that does a great job of complementing what they do on base downs.
Coach, we'll bring up Paul Kennedy, Florida Citrus Sports next, followed by Nathan King. Paul, go ahead. You can unmute when you're ready.
Coach, thank you for your time. To follow up on that question, how do you personally, perhaps with your analysts, go about preparing that plan? How many Northwestern games would you feel comfortable that you need to watch in preparing for a week to really identify and be secure, and that you know what perhaps would work and perhaps what you'd want to stay away from?
Well, one, they didn't play as many games this year, so you had very few games to go off of from personnel standpoints from a year ago. And obviously, so what you do at that point is you try to find teams, offenses that are similar to what you run, from formational, from plays, and you try to break those down. And whether it's 4 games, whether it's 5 games, maybe it's all 6 games. You definitely watch all of them from a personnel standpoint, just to look at the different personnel. But from a schematic standpoint, you try to focus on the teams that are very similar to what you do.
We've got time for a couple more for Coach. We'll go with Nathan King, followed by Tom Green. Nathan, you can go ahead when you're ready.
Hey, Chad. Hey, thank you for speaking to us again. Just on that note, with Northwestern having not played as many games and the COVID problems and some outages, and then them having just played a game and y'all haven't been away for a while, and the coaching change, everything that's happened. Is this the strangest bowl experience you've ever been a part of? And how do you kind of talk to your players about, just saying, hey, it's just one game, let's just focus on the task at hand?
Well, it has been. I mean, but again, it's kind of been the norm for this year. When you look at it and you look at just the way things have unfolded, and normally you're down at the bowl site right now, you're being able to enjoy the hospitality of the bowl, where now you go down the day before, just like a regular away game. So, we've tried to try to make it as bowl-like as you possibly can without being on the bowl site. But our guys have done a great job. Again, I think change has been a normal word and these guys have dealt with change extremely well.
Coach, we'll take a couple more. We'll do Tom Green from AL.com and Josh Vitale, and then we'll get you out of here. Tom, you can go ahead.
Hey, Chad. Just with a new head coach coming in, how do you kind of compartmentalize preparing for this bowl game and then, kind of the uncertain future of the whole, assistant coaching staff? And have you had any conversations with Coach Harsin about that future yet?
No, right now, Coach is here, and he's allowed us to go ahead and do our thing and game plan and get these guys ready to play. And and I'm excited about the opportunity to finish this season out at the Citrus Bowl.
Coach, we'll take one last question from Josh Vitale of the Montgomery Advertiser. Josh, you can go ahead.
Hey, Chad, as a play caller, how much fun has it been to have a guy like Tank Bigsby at running back and just the way he's broken out this year? And do you expect him to play for you guys on Friday?
Well, we're hoping. We'll see on that. But he's definitely had a great year, a phenomenal year, a young man that's got an incredible future ahead of him. And when you're able to get the ball in his hands, he makes a lot of things right when they're not right. And so, but a young man that loves football, and it's a pleasure to be around.
Coach, thank you so much for your time this morning. We appreciate it, and good luck this weekend.
You bet. Thank you, War Eagle.
All right, thank you. And that'll wrap us up for this morning. We had quarterback Bo Nix, defensive end Big Cat Bryant, defensive coordinator and acting head coach Kevin Steele, and also offensive coordinator Chad Morris, who you just saw. Transcripts will be available as soon as we have them, shortly after the event. And we have our Northwestern availability with players and coordinators at 2 Eastern this afternoon. You should have that link via the same email that went out last night, but we'll also make sure the SIDs have it just in case you need it. Thanks again for joining us this morning, and we will see you this afternoon.